them in lizards. These are all made in Manhattan.
I'm Scott Cercy with Ecom Daily News, and we're live at Miami Swim Week. I'm here with Mr. Todd Wang, CEO and founder of Free Minded, and we just want to ask your experience, your inspiration. First, let's start with your inspiration in building up this company.
I've been using cannabis since I've been a little boy, and back in the 70s, this was a product that I enjoyed, but I was afraid to use because I'd be arrested with it. And I always took this product with me when I transported it, and I would always hide it. I would be driving in my cars and taking this product and sticking it underneath the floorboards of my car, hoping that I wouldn't get caught and hopefully I wouldn't get arrested. And using the product for all the years of my life, it's been a beautiful product, and it's been such a beautiful thing to see how the world has metamorphosed into now becoming recreational and medical use, you know? And within the last 6 or 7 years, I kept on hearing cannabis coming to life, and I've walked into some dispensaries, and I was totally blown away that it's become legal. We could never envision as a young child to have this product to be legal. It was just so illegal. And to now see it, and I'm like, you know, I come from fashion as a fashion recruiter, and I work with the finest designers in the world in fashion. So my inspiration has always been high-end couture, strong relationships with my designers and my product developers and my production team. And then I had an anomaly that I should really be designing beautiful high-end couture accessories for cannabis. I wanted to take this product and show the world that this is something we can really be proud of, you know? Looking at Silver Peak in Colorado, looking at Maxfield's in California, and then always inspired by Willie Nelson. I'm like, well, if Willie's roadie walks into Maxfield's, what would they buy him? Well, there's only head shops that sell garbage, you know? Plastic joint tubes. Well, you know, I'm doing stuff in beautiful stingrays, right? American alligator. And I look at this and I look at the way people accessorize themselves, and people love the shoes, people love the bags, the belts, men love watches. So my feeling is that the roadie would come in town and buy Willie a joint tube, and he would take this product and he would throw it on the table, and people are like, well, what is that? Well, it's a joint tube. It's a really cool joint tube, you know? I make them in blunts, I make them in singles, I make them in joints. I do French calfskins, stingrays, alligators, and also I do them in lizards. These are all made in Manhattan. And then I have other products also that I've designed. We designed in Florence, Italy, some of my products in Paris, in Turkey. Some of the French leathers are coming, the French leathers are coming from Paris. I'm also Turkish lambskins that I've been using. So it's very eclectic. It's all coming from around the world. It's the finest products that I can find, and just very, very detail orientated. My inspiration is to show the best leather manufacturers in the world that I can compete at this level of couture. You know, it's the finest materials, the best craftsmanship. It's the finest stuff that you can get your hands on. I'm not just designing stuff that's functional and usable, I'm doing art. And that's really the whole philosophy behind it, to show cannabis at the height, you know, that the world could really be proud of this product now. And my inspiration is to take all my competitors now, which is, you know, Gucci, Prada, Hermes, and say, come on, here's the game.
You've upped the
Bring
game.
it to the next step.
Okay.
All right? I brought it here, you bring it to the next one.
That's great to hear. And what can you tell other maybe small business owners, your experience taking your vision and making it a reality, and the journey of scaling it up and bringing it to the world?
You know, you have to have a dream and an inspiration and a design concept, and then you have a lot of highs and lows, you know, but you need drive. You need drive, you need ambition. When you have those walls, you have to keep on knocking them down. You know, if you have a problem, you got to figure out a way around it. I'm very fortunate because I come out of fashion recruiting. So my resources are so huge in this industry that when I have a problem, I can call a VP of a major corporation and say, how do you do this? You know, because I've placed these people in the last 32 years of my career. So that's why I'm capable of designing this kind of product. And then I have all my accessory designers come up and they look at it and go, next time you do it this way. So they critique my work. And I love that because they just keep on elevating the product to the next step. You know, they're like, I don't like the way you did the enamel. I think you should do the leather this way. I think you should tuck it in that way instead of doing it this way, you know?
So would it be a good summary to say to have drive, to reach out, to make contacts in the industry, and as well to take others' advice and critiques into
Criticism the best because the metamorphosis of some of these products are maybe 5 years with like a half a dozen products. And I would come up with a design and I would hand it to my friends who are users and I go, what do you think? The cap is too flimsy, you know? I think you need to make it stronger. I don't like this about the product. Can you make it like that? And just the evolution of the product, you know, if you came to my studio, I would take this diplomatic pouch and I would show you the evolution to the product. It cost me most probably $10,000 or $15,000 just in sample development, but every time I had a product, I put it in the field and they say, well, an example, in my diplomatic pouch, I came up and I made this tray. So I started with the tray, but then they said, hey, put this edge on it for rolling. Okay? And then they go, what would really be cool is if you put a grinding card in it. I had the rolling papers. They go, can you put the grinding card? And I did that and they go, you know what would be even cooler? If you can put the filters in there. That'd even be better, right? And then after I designed the whole thing, my other user came back and go, can you put a funnel in it? So this took most probably 5 experiments to finally make it work, you know? But it's just the evolution of product. It costs a lot, but at the end of the day, you get something as beautiful as this.
And you can't skip testing.
No, not at all. You can't come to this table without testing it.
Well,
because the users are going to sit there and say, you know what, this is a piece of garbage. It may be beautiful, but it's not functional. You know, and the whole concept behind it is that it's functional, it's beautiful, and it's art. You know, this is something that you give as a gift to your friends, you know, something that's really special. It takes 40 hours, one person to make it in a week, so it's not something that's just mass produced.
It's artisan.
It really is. You know, you can see that in my website, you can see it in my product. You know, I came out here because I wanted to show the people what I'm doing.
That's really great. I really appreciate your time. I just have one last question for you. Where next? Where would you like to take this next? How would you like, what would you like the next steps for Free Minded to be?
You know, I want it to be respected. I think it is respected, but I think globally people will start noticing what I'm doing, and eventually it'll start taking off. It's getting a tremendous review from my own peers, people that I respect in fashion and accessories. You know, I've asked the best technicians in the world, you know, because I live in Manhattan, I work on Fashion Avenue, I have a personnel agency, which is personnel. You can see that I'm a fashion recruiter forever. They come up and they critique my work, so I just think that the world will see the product and it'll take off very nicely. It's skip on anything. And that's really what it comes down to. It's just keep on making it beautiful. Where is Free Minded going? You know, cannabis right now is an industry that it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? And I'm sitting at the top in an accessory market. It can only grow from there, you know? It's just a beautiful product. I'm doing co-branding with certain companies. I'm working with Higher Standards right now, and I'm doing some co-branding with them. So I'm picking very special companies to do co-branding with, you know, to partner with them. The line is going so many different directions. You know, it's what do I do during the day? What do I do during the weekend? What do I do when I travel? What's my home use? You know, and what I've done here is I've used cannabis right now, flower, to start my line off. But I'll get into edibles, I'll get into oils, you know, I have a little bit of vape. You know, I'm going to be doing some beautiful jewelry in roach clips in the next couple of months. It's just so many different facets of this business that I'm going to go into. but it's going to be at the highest level of beauty. It's going to be with rubies and diamonds and emeralds, you know, a real piece of jewelry. But you're going to look at it and go, wow, this is beautiful, but then you're going to have a little extra button on the side that's going to be a roach clip, you know, something a little, and everything is hidden, you know. You don't see any cannabis leaves on my product. It's a bunch of class. I don't have to show the Mad Max kind of flowers and cannabis look. You know, it's very subtle, very classy. And that's the whole thing behind it. It's taking everything of nature that's beautiful and bringing it to the table and showing that cannabis could really be this glorified product. And that's my inspiration.
Well, I really appreciate you speaking with me. These are some very beautiful products, very high quality. You can definitely tell by handling them and seeing them. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with us today. Yes, sir.
Appreciate your energy.
I appreciate that. Thank